I'm great. How about yourself? Nice running into you here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we always run into each other at any Bitcoin conference, isn't it?
Yeah, you're everywhere.
Well, you are too. You are one of the OG of the space. So tell me what's new. I know that you have just released your new project. You are always, busy investing in the space. You are actually one of the early, I would say, VC supporting the Bitcoin ecosystem, which, is very, how can I say, lots of respect.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm all about democratizing investing in Bitcoin startups and making it so you can participate. So it's not just giving your money to a venture capitalist and they run a fund and they invest it for you. You get to look at every deal, whether you like it or don't like it, invest small amounts of money and make your own investing decisions. So we have Lightning Ventures for accredited investors. We've invested about $8 million and have invested in over 40 Bitcoin-only startups, many of which that are here that everyone knows and loves, Bitcoin companies. But you still have to be accredited. You still have to meet a certain threshold to invest. Even though the minimum is low, like $1,000 US, you still have to meet a threshold. We just launched Thunder Funder, which is a Reg CF funding portal that allows basically anyone to invest. And you can fund the investments in Bitcoin or fiat or your credit card or debit card, and you can invest small amounts of money into startups that are in the open source or Bitcoin community, and that's our focus. So it's a brand new platform. It's thunderfunder.com.
Yeah, super interesting. And any type of investors can join, or you have a kind of restriction, like US investors only, on how does it work?
No, so it's free to join and international, anyone can join. The restriction is for what companies raise. They have to be US entities. So a company has to be, whether it's a Delaware C or some US entity, they can raise on Thunder Funder, and the investors can come from anywhere. Here in Europe, the platforms that are live here, you could raise here, but if you're a European entity.
Yeah.
So if you're a European entity, you can invest here. The difference is as an American, I'm not allowed to invest in your crowdfunding platforms in Europe. They don't let me invest here. But in America, you're allowed to invest.
Okay, so there are rules and regulations that you are following to make sure everything is done by the books. So tell me about what's happening in the general Bitcoin ecosystem if we look from an investment perspective. So where are the money?
No, it's still very challenging. Everything is super tight. So valuations contracted, the amount of money contracted. It became very hard to complete a fundraising round. It took a lot more work. You had to have maybe a real business. Profitability matters, getting the profitability. It wasn't just, I'll raise another big round. That'll get me 18 more months of runway. I'll figure it out later. Those days are over. So at this point in time, it's all about real business. So not many companies are getting big funding rounds. There's only been maybe one or two that I can think of. Now, there might be a lot of token sort of Bitcoin things. I don't really know too much about that area. They might be having some big rounds. They might be doing something. You know more about that stuff than I do. So they might be having some large 7-figure rounds. But in the traditional VC Bitcoin only world, there aren't too many funding rounds. Maybe a couple $100,000, maybe $1 million. ARK just had a big round that was between 2 and 3 million, but that was basically it. So once the interest rates continue to go down, the IPO market gets really kicking again. Fold is IPOing. That's going to be great. Once we get some liquidity back in the system and get some liquidity back to the LPs and the investors, then things will start happening again. Because if I invested in your fund okay, and that fund is deployed, and then you came back to me and you said, Mike, I got a great deal for you. I'm raising another fund. And because there's that kind of break, that needs to start flowing again, right? And then once you send me back some money from fund one and start that process, then maybe I can start redeploying it back into the next investment. So that's what everyone's kind of waiting on. So it's still very tight.
And if we look at what type of companies are getting more attention from investors, so would that be maybe DeFi on Bitcoin, or is more like application on Bitcoin? Where do you see really the kind of like the trend moving, if there is a trend?
So the token DeFi sort of, hey, we can get you 5 to 10% yield or whatever the heck that stuff is, that stuff is getting funded. I don't know too much about it, but I get those emails. That's not what we focus on. Maybe they're great. Maybe I should focus on it. I don't know. But we get an email and, Coinbase Ventures is in and these other people are in, and they do some kind of token on Bitcoin where you get 5 to 10%. I have no idea how that works. I don't know if that's a real company. I don't know what they do, right? Relay, the exchange, they're on fire. They're gonna have a big funding round here soon. Strike is gonna have a big Series C round here soon. Lightning Labs is putting together a big round right now. Those companies are getting funded, but it's just taking longer, right? Everything is taking longer. So I personally focus in that world. Bitcoin only exchanges like BIPA from Brazil, they just did a big round, but I say big, maybe like $1.5 million. You know what I mean? So is that big in comparison to 6-7 million for some Bitcoin NFT thing?
But you need to start from somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where a good idea, get the first investor to kind of help them to grow. And nothing can start from, big figures straight away.
Mm-hmm. A lot of crypto VCs are looking at Bitcoin. Like they weren't looking at Bitcoin. Now it's not that they're not looking at crypto. They're just looking more at Bitcoin from the crypto side. And they get excited about token warrants, token deals, because that's what they know. So, not having a real long lockup in an illiquid investment, they get to redeploy capital and they like those types of deals. So they're gravitating towards a lot of that stuff.
Okay, super interesting. Yeah, is there anything else that you are here excited about? You wanna, you're maybe here to kind of listen to some specific discussion or networking with certain people?
I'm excited to get the word out about Thunder Funder and signing up. And I'm excited to have companies who want to come on the platform and raise capital. And so I'm meeting with companies, seeing who we can get to come on the platform and telling investors and people that they have a chance to finally invest in private Bitcoin startups. And I think it's going to be a really exciting, great place to potentially outperform the price of Bitcoin when these things go really well.
You are a tough investors, because we had a conversation with a company, we obviously don't mention anything, but I had the opportunity to kind of have this discussion with you, and I saw you in action. And Mike, which seems like a nice guy, is not actually a nice guy. You are tough. So if you have to say what are the things that you are looking in a company or in a business that you think can come on your platform or has got potential to be successful or actually should come on your platform to get visibility and get investment, what would you say? Okay,
so something that's typical but in my sweet spot but really nice is, hey, we're a Bitcoin only exchange, we're in the Philippines. This is what we do. We're Philippines Bitcoin only sort of Bitcoin exchange. Here's an app, here's a wallet, it works beautifully. We have lightning capabilities. We have a little bit of point of sale and some stores and onboarding. Hey, and we're also tapping into the remittance market. There's a lot of Philippines sort of inflow of pesos and dollars from the US and other countries that need to come in there, right? So we're capturing some of that market. That is a boring business. For a lot of VCs out there in the token land and crypto land. That's kind of like, oh, what do I want to deal with that? For me, that's what we love. That's what I really like to focus on, is that type of a business, because it's a real business. They have real revenue today. They have real numbers and real growth. Remittance markets are huge. And it might not be as sexy as earning 10% with this whatever token, but those are things that I look for. Those are like real businesses. We joke, but we like to say it's like real business. We invest in real stuff. You know, everyone wants to talk about there's other layer twos and other things that are out there. And like, you know, are they real things right now?
Yeah.
Because if it's not like a real thing, I'm not even like, I can't look at it, you know, I don't even know about it. You know? I was talking to someone the other day and he said to me, he's like, I'm not excited about Lightning. He's like, I'm excited about Spider Chain. And I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
I never heard of it. Maybe it's great. I don't know. I got to Google it on the flight home and research it. But I just don't have time to focus on a lot of that stuff.
Mike, thank you so much.